Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. So, I'm extremely worried this evening over a 1% drop in the tech-heavy NASDAQ index. Why this sudden concern? Well, because it may do great damage to Nancy Pelosi's almost perfect investment track record. You may have read that one website has already nominated her as the 2021 Wall Street Trader of the Year. In fact, reading JacobinMag.com, which I'm told is a left-wing outfit, I don't care. Nonetheless, they have a fabulous story about Ms. Pelosi and her trading acumen. The Gordon Gekko of the New York Stock Exchange. The Oracle of Omaha is dead. Long live the Queen of Stonks. According to reports, she and her husband, Paul Pelosi, have traded over $50 million in assets over the past year, with annualized returns at 69% as of October. That's according to an estimate from the Nancy Pelosi Portfolio tracker. Now, that's higher than Buffett, George Soros, Cathie Wood, and other star investors. Apparently, the Pelosi Portfolio beat the S&P 500 by 4.9% in 2019 and a big 14.3% gain in 2020, that according to an outfit called Fine Print. Ms. Pelosi is becoming a cold figure among stock investors. Now, one brilliant move was the purchase of hundreds of thousands of dollars in Roblox. When the public gaming company went out in March, according to JacobinMag.com, many were skeptical of the value of a kid's video game, but the stock has doubled since then. In July, she invested at least $1 million in computer chip maker NVIDIA, which skyrocketed 70% during the worldwide chip shortage. A TikTok account called @QuickTrades got 70,000 likes for a post highlighting the queen of investing. Now, last month, the Pelosi disclosed that they purchased millions in bullish call options for stocks including Google, Salesforce, and Micron Technology. The Pelosis have reportedly reaped at least $5.6 million and maybe up to $30.4 million in capital gains and dividends from their holdings in 5 big tech firms: Facebook, Google, Amazon, Apple, and Microsoft. Now, frankly, I don't have any problem with Ms. Pelosi getting rich. I like the fact that she's heavily invested in stocks and is last year's Wall Street Trader of the Year. I've always believed that a rising tide would lift all boats. I do have a slight problem with Ms. Pelosi's trading companies that have serious regulatory issues pending before the Congress. Some people believe she's been slow-walking regulatory issues around the tech giants. And there's also the issue of access and influence and confidential briefings and non-public information. I know in the executive branch, you are allowed to trade stocks, but anything above $1,000 requires an ethics sign-off with respect to potential conflicts of interest. Supposedly similar rules prevail in Congress, but I wonder about that. Ms. Pelosi has upset a number of her left-wing colleagues who think stock trading should be banned altogether, but she does not agree. And late last month, in response to criticism, Ms. Pelosi said, and I quote, "We're in a free market economy," end quote. Really, Ms. Pelosi? Just saying, ma'am. Every policy you've backed runs counter to your free market economy. Not only does that include your advocacy for government takeovers for energy, healthcare, banking, and elsewhere, but you've always enthusiastically supported big tax hikes on those who, quote, don't pay their fair share. Now, on that last point, I was especially interested in the report that you may have reaped up to $30 million in capital gains and dividends over the past many years. Nothing wrong with that, especially since George W. Bush slashed the tax rate on cap gains and dividends to 15% back in 2003. But now, Ms. Pelosi, you want to jack those investment rates sky high and even tax unrealized capital gains as a way of getting to a wealth tax. So while you've got yours, you'd effectively stop others from getting their benefits after tax. Now, I recall interviewing Ms. Pelosi about 15 years ago when she was on the verge of becoming House Speaker. Very pleasant interview, requested by her. And I asked her at the end if she believed in the stock market and wealth creation. And she responded, "Oh, yes, Larry, How do you think I got these? As she lifted her hair and showed me a spectacular set of diamond earrings. Now, truthfully, I kind of loved it. I think she was waiting for the question, and she did have a terrific answer. And I was completely blinded by the diamond dazzle in front of me. Down through the years, I interviewed twice more, both pleasant enough. I've never harbored any personal animosity toward her. When I went to work in the Trump White House, she greeted me before the start of a cabinet room meeting with a hug. Of course, I disagree with her policy views. But then again, if Ms. Pelosi is back to defending the free market and stock market trading, well, maybe the gap between her economic thinking and mine is about to narrow. I might not bet on it, but hope springs eternal. That said, I would suggest to the Speaker that she promote tax incentives that will create great opportunities for all Americans to get rich and benefit by superior stock picking skills. You know, if you tax something less, Ms. Pelosi, like stocks or wealth or jobs or incomes, you'll get much more of it. The non-rich can get rich. And by the way, I'd love to interview again or even have another pleasant phone call. And that's my riff for tonight.